All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
Carlos, you know what? I'm having a good day. I don't know why. I'm feeling well. You know what? Nina Simone said it best as to how I'm feeling today.
And I'm feeling good.
Yes.
There you go. Feeling good today. Anyways, hopefully
Glad
that
to
doesn't
hear
get
that, Peter.
banned because I've used copyright music or something. But anyways,
Oh,
all right.
absolutely. But who cares? One thing will be fine.
We got earnings all over the place. You know what I think I'm feeling good? I am feeling good because I survived the tornadoes last night. There were tornado warnings all over the place. Like I live in Canada, for God's sake. Tornado
Wild,
warnings.
Man.
It came on my
Wow.
phone, like the emergency alerts that just interrupt no matter what is happening on your phone and takes it over. It was on the TV, and it was crazy. And we got some rain. That's it. I didn't see anything else. I didn't see any tornadoes, so I made it through. My barbecue is still on the deck, right where I left it. It's patio furniture's out there, so it's all good. But I'm just like, what is happening? What
That
tornado
is wild,
warnings?
man.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems crazy.
It's that's definitely new. at least in our
Yeah.
lifetime. Friends, welcome to Pre-Market Prep, guys. Hope you are doing well this morning. As you can see, we got a very busy one. I mean, just look at this gappers list. It's really all over the place, and we'll dive into that and kind of dissect this a little bit. We won't be able to cover every single thing on it. If you look at this gap down, I mean, everything is on here this morning. So we'll see what's driving that. But before we do that, U.S. economic calendar, Peter, what do we have for today?
Yeah, actually, everything's front end loaded. So it all came out just a minute ago. So let's start at the top of this list and I'll move our way down. GDP. GDP numbers came out. Expected was a 2% growth, 2.8% growth. So much bigger than expected. That's actually quite a differential. Means that the U.S. economy is a little more robust than analysts had forecast. And that's good news. I mean, good news for the economy. That's usually good news for business, but you quite never know how the market's going to react. So let's go to the next number, jobless claims. Initial jobless claims came out, and it was slightly lower than expected. Pretty much right on. 235,000 was the forecast, or 237, depending on which number you look at. Came out somewhere between 234 and 235. So pretty much right on target, but that's good. Continuing jobless claims came out. It was also slightly lower. 1.86 million was the expected. 1.85 was the actual. So we're seeing an economy that's moving here, I guess, right? Less jobless claims, a little bit more growth on the GDP. Durable goods is probably the least important of these, but it's one that showed the biggest differential. And this is where things go sideways. So 0.3% growth was the expected on durable goods orders. We had a 6.6% contraction, so negative 6.6%. So we were all feeling good, right? Like me and Nina. I'm not sure if she's still around. Anyways, and then durable goods comes out and we get all confused. And the market seems to be confused. Looking at the Qs and the SPY right now, they're both sort of just bouncing around, right? Haven't gone anywhere. I'm not sure the market knows exactly what to make of these numbers. So, you know what, Carlos? I think once again, we're in a point where the economic data is not really telling us the market's, going to react poorly or positively. The economy is sort of okay, but not great. I think we're just left again to the stuff that's got earnings and that is moving, and that's what we're going to keep watching because that's really all we've been doing for the last month and a half. So why change now? Are you out there, Carlos? I lost Carlos.
I'm here. Sorry, was on mute. Yep, I agree with you, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's tackle this seed of red, guys. I mean, we got tons of stuff in the green, but we got a bunch more in the red this
We
morning. So
do.
we'll start here. Let's take a look at first one. We'll look at the top 5 on the gap up. We're not going to go through everything on here because a lot of great ones I want to get to on the gap down. So we don't want to have time for those. Here's BALY. It is up 25%. Looks like some kind of buyout, or it's just some really weird price action this morning. Peter, what's driving this up today?
I didn't even know these guys were still around, to be honest. I thought they were taken over, incorporated. Remember when Bali's was like, if you thought fitness, you thought Bali's. It was like the high end, cool place to go. I don't like. Is there a Bali? I mean, hey, you're New York area ish. Are there Bali's like anything?
No, I
Fitness
haven't seen
club?
them around. Maybe in New
Yeah.
York, maybe like in downtown. I mean,
I,
yeah, it looks
I
like
don't
they
know. It's
got. No, that's the different valleys. No, I haven't seen any of these, man. Uh,
Yeah. Anyways,
yeah.
they're still out there. Apparently they might not be out there for long because they are merging with Standard General LP. Isn't that like you could not create a more generic sounding company if you tried? Standard General, like it literally says general, generic right in there. Limited partnership even. It's not even Inc. All right. Anyways, and it's going to be combined with the Queen Casino and Entertainment Group, the sitting under Standard General LP. So this merger may eliminate that Bali's name that we didn't even know continued to exist. So you read it right, Carlos. That price action tells us that it's not going to be very exciting. They're going to acquire the outstanding shares at $18.25 as of. I don't know when the date of this thing is supposed to close, but it doesn't really matter. It's a buyout. Bali's that we didn't know existed will probably not exist for much longer. So see you,
Yeah,
Bali.
looks horrible. We'll move on to the next one on here. It's going to be Vktx
Is that a
this
different
morning, and
Bali's? People are telling me it's a different Bali's. This is a casino group, but isn't it the same company? I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe not.
I'm not sure.
All right. Maybe that's why we've
Um,
never heard of it.
Yeah, it could be. Here's VKTX, my friends. It is down at 13.8. Again, some actually no, up 13.5, down from the pre-market highs this morning, as you can see it here. But for the most part, pre-market action does not look that great. We got a little bit of volume, but I'm not too excited about this one. Looks like maybe earnings last night or some kind of news breakout. You can see the pop here. But
Yep.
Peter, anything good on this one? We used to trace a lot. I don't know if you remember, but not anymore.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It used to be on our list much more often. Yes, it was earnings after the close yesterday. They had a decent quarter, but frankly, people don't seem to care that much. It just barely is making our list here, and I haven't seen it move very well in the last long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Need not love
I,
you long time.
Yeah, I mean, today they are in play for sure. Is it going to be one of my top things to go to looking at the names on this list? Probably not. So I'm going to skip on it. Let's take a look at now NOW here. These guys, I never seen these people. Service Now. Don't
Service
know what they
now. Oh
do,
yeah.
but yeah, I don't know what they do. They're up 6%
No.
here. Yeah, what is that? No, I don't. I'll look it
Service
up.
now, man.
Service Now.
They were huge when I was leaving IT. They were taking over the business, running sort of integrated software basically to run your IT services and systems, right? From program and portfolio management through to your ticket management systems and IT service management. It was the biggest deal out there. Of course, like all software, it never quite worked exactly as promised, always with promises of more upgrades and features to come. But I assume they're working it out because they had a good quarter. They had a great quarter, and their subscriber numbers were up. And they are also feeling good. It looks like this morning. So with a good jump this morning, ServiceNow is an odd one that it can. It's a nicey stock, like it's a tech stock that you think should be trading on the Nasdaq, but it doesn't. It's trading on the good old New York Stock Exchange, and in my mind, that makes it move a little funky. You got to wait for that volume to come in at the open. It's a higher price stock too. We're talking about an $800 or $775 stock, so I don't know. Like I have high hopes, but the spread can be large. I'll probably put it on my list because I'm always waiting for this thing to do good stuff. Because if you look back at the daily chart, it actually has these periods where it moves pretty well. Like you get these great movements and good price action. It's just hard to trade though, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see what
Yeah.
happens today. But I
Could be the
like it.
lack of volume too, right? I mean, they get really light
Yeah.
volume, and sometimes that makes it difficult to trade these stocks. So I don't see this one being a good candidate for me this morning. BTI, we've seen this before plenty of times on our list. Today's gapping up
The
4%,
British third one.
480,000.
Oh no, British tobacco.
And they're really going here. So they are a foreign stock, obviously. You can see that because on the daily how choppy it is, and also just the lack of volume. I think if this stock can get a little more volume on the day, that they can trade better. But for the most part, it's not a great intraday trading stock. Peter, the news today on these guys treating them well, looks like.
Yeah, this is one of these, shows up every quarter type thing. British American Tobacco. That feels like a company that time has passed by. I'm amazed that they have not rebranded, right? You think with a name like British
Yeah.
American Tobacco, you'd have rebranded a while ago. But maybe not because they live out of the UK and the UK is not as worried about that rebranding type activity. I've never really watched it. Look at the daily chart. Like to me, it tells the tale, right? Look how tiny these daily candles are. They're unconnected one day from the next. It is dual traded, which means the North American market activity is going to be pushed and pulled by the foreign market that moves first, the British exchange that's going to move first. So it's just not a great candidate for trading on the North American exchange.
Yeah, skipping on that one, guys. Heading over to SNY. Man, not a whole lot that looks great, and I kind of knew that based on the themes that we saw here. SNY is another one that we have on our list. We've seen on our list before. Does not trade very well, man. Every time I look at this, it's just brutal. Daily's horrible. Volume is so light on this. If you look at the daily, they're getting in most cases less than 2 million shares traded. When you have that, this is what you get. Even when you gap up or down, you get this. This is yesterday's daily. Just look how bad that is. 25,000 shares there, 7,000 shares there. If you've seen a stock trade like that, it's brutal. So garbage truck for this one, Peter. Anything you like on it today? I mean, I thought it's anything.
Well, they did raise their guidance. That's always it's sort of the best possible news for a company when they raise their in-year guidance. So they're expecting 2024 to be better than expected, largely because of their drug Dupixent. Dupixent. I'm not even sure how to say that. Don't know what it does, to be honest. Dupixent. It's probably a weight loss drug, but I don't know. But anyways, it alone is going to be delivering $13 billion worth of revenue or 13 billion euros in sales. So yeah, it's doing real well for them, and because of that, they're raising their forecast. So good news. Again, like you just said, Carlos, it's not the greatest trader, which is unfortunate because it's just unfortunate. I'd love to trade it.
There it is. Simple as that. All right, moving on down, friends. Yeah, let's look at ASTS. It's another one on our list this morning, and this is up 3%. Man, everything that's up just looks so bad. Same here. 244,000 shares traded up 3.1, and it's just not looking great. We've seen this stock trade be in play before. I'm not sure what's driving them, or if they're really in play. I don't see anything great this morning besides them just hitting the numbers, right? Above 3% and 244,000 shares traded.
Yeah, it's not a great trader. Volume on ASTS typically is pretty low. Their average trading volume is around 6-7 million shares. So you think there'd be enough to get some good activity on it, but I don't know. These space companies don't they just don't quite have it yet. This is Space Mobile. Do you remember us talking about this where they're like going to be setting cell phone service in space? They're sort of competing against Elon's company, but but they're doing cell service instead of data. My God, why can't I talk? I'm feeling too good. Apparently, I need more stuff. but you know, they did have some good news. They are expected to continue to grow. Now their revenues are so modest. I sort of take it with a grain of salt whenever they say their revenues are growing, because you know it's basically they're going from I can't remember what their revenue was in the last quarter. I saw it there. This is like anyways, they got a couple million in revenue, right? So it's like it's not hard to achieve growth at this point of your company's cycle. So what I'm worried about is, does it trade well? And typically, again, look at how small the daily trading range is on ASTS. Even today, while it is
Yeah.
gapping up, it's just it's not even outside of this little daily range that it had. So you know, call me when it gets over 1450 or so, then I'll get interested. So I'll
Yeah.
leave it for the scanners. If the scanners pick it up later, we can come back and talk about it.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's look at JD is on here, and then we'll look at Lee next, and we'll head down to the gap down. JD this morning up 2.5, 781,000 shares traded. Just brutal daily. We haven't looked at JD in such a long time. Usually when I
That
look
is
at this, I
true.
look at Baba, but I can't remember the last time we looked at JD. It's been other stuff taking taking the headlines here. But this morning they're up. I mean, they're up 2.5, but this pre-market activity looks as bad as it can get. So, Peter, anything happening with JD?
Well, the Chinese government, JD sometimes gets these weird boosts from the government. Chinese government unveiled a $41 billion plan to boost consumption. They're trying to increase consumer spending in China, and it's expected that because they're, I guess the country wants to update their industrial and household equipment. I don't know exactly what that means. Appliances, then? I'm not sure, but JD is expected to be a beneficiary of that, because they're going to do that through existing sort of retailers and service providers. And JD again is expected to be on the forefront. So really, it's that seems to be the news that's moving it. You know, will it sustain it throughout the day? I don't know, because there's no details about what this plan actually entails, how it's going to work, or when it's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like it. I don't like anything so far on this list here. Let's look at these two. Is going to be Lee. Lee is gapping up 2%, and we also have XPEV this morning as well, gapping up a little bit 2%. Any major news on any of these two, Peter?
Well, I mean, sort of same news, right? The stimulus package from China, the 41 billion,
Yeah,
300 billion won, I guess, that they're investing in this scheme. And there's an expectation that further announcements are going to come when they say upgrading infrastructure, right? When they sort of think EV infrastructure in the same breath. So there was no specific mention of it in the release that I read, but it's expected that'll be part of the deal. And therefore, the bigger companies, right, BYD, XPEV, LI, will be able to take advantage of it as well. So it's
gotcha.
all
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
news.
All right, so there you have it.
Yep.
Again, they don't look great right now, so maybe that will change. Anything else in the air that's capping up that might not be on this
Yeah.
list, Peter, that you have on your
Well, we
end?
have so many. Yeah, we have so many earnings that I do have a bunch that had earnings that just either they haven't quite made our list yet. So let's start with probably the big one we were watching last night, Chipotle, CMG. Chipotle had earnings after the close yesterday. We were watching that after the close with members in our room that stuck around for that, and they had a good quarter. They beat their numbers. Then they showed about 9% growth in the. It was interesting in the analyst call. There was two big questions that sort of the executive, the CEO specifically, had to deal with at Chipotle, and one was. You've got growth. So the overall industry, by the way, has seen contraction of about 2%. Chipotle is seeing 9 to 11% growth, which is an amazing, result for them. How are they dealing with that? Or how have they achieved that? And they said that they have focused on, and I can't remember offhand what the name of the measure was, but basically the number of burritos they can make per hour. They've been focused on efficiency and making more burritos per hour. So there you go. That's one of the ways that they've achieved this. Some of these growth numbers in cost management. The other thing that the big question that they had was more of a challenge question. There's been a lot of sort of hit pieces on them. The fact that if you get, now I don't go to Chipotle often enough to know this, but if you go to Chipotle and order a burrito bowl, the size of the bowl can vary quite significantly. anywhere from 14 to 23 ounces, depending on which Chipotle you go to. So apparently, it's a big deal. Their portion control management is not good, and so there's some tough questions for management about what they were going to do about that, because people were angry that they were getting underserved in their Chipotle bowl stuff, I guess. So so I guess apparently
conspiracy.
they are going to be focused on that, and they're going back to some quality control measures, and they're going to they're going to make sure that they have more consistency in their delivery of their bowls. So just so you know, if you only go to Chipotle occasionally, look out for the size of that bowl, man. Make sure you're not getting under delivered and stuff. Make sure they pack it up there. And if you you can just stay on top of that, I guess. So because what we all need is more food. I want
Yes.
big
Yes.
globs
Gonna
of sour cream.
gonna walk in with see people walking in with a scale, say, "Hey, let me see that, and let me verify the number of ounces you're putting in this thing."
Measure that thing.
All right, we'll see. Hey, look at that! It was green. It is now red. It's dropping here. So,
Oh,
Peter, you're dropping
okay.
the stock somehow with your comments.
Well, see, that's why I didn't make
we
our
are-
list, because it hadn't gapped enough. Another one that had earnings after the close yesterday was IBM. So I should move down my list here. IBM. They don't typically trade a lot of volume pre-market. IBM, do you remember the days, Carlos, when it was like, when I worked in IT, it was like, you can't go wrong with Big Blue. Big Blue is the thing to go to, and IBM was like the big gorilla of the IT sector. They are probably the worst performing IT company out there. I mean, there was a time when they dwarfed everybody, including Microsoft and all the other computer manufacturers and producers. Now, like, I think their revenue in this quarter was 1.8 billion compared to like Microsoft, that's delivering 20 billion. Like they're just, and their growth is single digits. It's not very exciting. So they had a quarter, they had good numbers, but it's just not very exciting. So they are gapping up, as you can see here, price wise, but the volume's not there to support it. It typically gets volume after the open, so if you want to take a bet at watching it, you could. The last one I had that was gapping up, well, actually there's a couple, because a couple are on the fence here, so I'm not sure where to mention them, but let's mention Hasbro. HAS, Hasbro Toys. They had earnings this morning. They beat their numbers, top and bottom line, had a good quarter. Hasbro, like, I know Hasbro Toys, don't we all? I mean, they make Nerf, Play-Doh, Peppa Pig, but then the Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, right? That's all their stuff. What's common about all of those? It's all physical stuff, right? Even the Transformers is a Hasbro brand. But they apparently have made a big investment in digital and digital services, not only internal but customer facing. And they've hired some high-powered executives who are going to be taking over their digital division. So that's part of. There you go. All right, get the old Nerf blaster guns out there, and get yourself some fun. But anyways, there seems to be a little bit of interest in the fact that they're moving more into a digital sphere, and that's going to help maybe drive some revenues for them. So yeah. Anyways, there you go. See, Transformers, My Little Pony, all good stuff. But again, none of those are very digital. So moving digital, that's Hasbro. Again, one that doesn't typically trade very well. The other one that I was going to mention on the gap down, but it just moved to the gap up list, is Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, RCL. RCL's hovering around break even. It just happened to go green a minute ago, but it's not. It's trading very, very low volume. But they also had earnings this morning. Very mixed perspective here on Royal Caribbean, so I'm not sure what to do with it. They beat their numbers, so they had a good quarter, and they raised their guidance. Normally, that's all you have to do, right? You've got to tell the market, I think I'm going to make even more money. They raised their guidance to be at the very high end of what the analysts' expectations were. That's all good. However, every industry's got a very specific measure. Apparently, in the fast food, it's usually stores sales per store. Apparently, if you're in the burrito business, it's number of burritos per hour. If you're selling cruise line seats, it's the number of passenger cruise days. The number of passenger cruise days is important. And apparently that was down. Despite beating every other number, the number of passenger cruise days in the last quarter was down. And therefore, the industry is a little concerned that they're not going to be able to sustain the growth. So look, man, I don't know. The management seems to think that they're getting bigger bang for the buck from the people that are on the boats, or they're charging more for fewer days. All sounds good to me. But there were some alarms raised because of that. So we'll see what happens with RCL. It could go either way. Right now, it's sitting at like 0.25% up on very low volume. So that's what I had on the gap up list. And we have a lot to talk about on the gap down list here. So we better get to that.
There's so many on here. Here's the plan. We're gonna do top 5, and then we're gonna hop around to some names, some bigger and better names towards the bottom that we might want to get to. But we're not gonna go through all of this. Just way too many. So let's do top 5, and then we jump around on some good ones here. Let's start with EW. EW, this is down 23% this morning. 1 million shares traded. So a big drop for them. This is Edwards Life Science. Did they miss some kind of try or phase 1 or something? I mean, this is a big drop. Usually, if it's a medical company, that's what they end up doing.
Look,
Peter, what's the latest and greatest?
This is too obvious, other than to say, ew.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you can't give me a dad joke opportunity like that and not expect something lame.
Meatball.
All right, anyways,
hitting it at the park.
we never see this on our list. I don't know that I've ever seen this before. Yes, it's Edwards Life Sciences. Somebody picked EW as their ticker. They basically cut their guidance. So their biggest, they are a medical company, so they've got their signature drugs, I guess, and they slashed their outlook on what is their biggest moneymaker. So this TAVR, I don't know what a TAVR is, to be honest, but it's a thing that they've cut the outlook on. Therefore, EW, Edward Life Sciences, is dropping this morning. Oh, it's a heart valve replacements. Oh, less people are getting heart valve replacements. All right. Apparently that's what a TAVR is.
Okay. If they're getting less, hopefully they're healthier. That's a good thing.
I guess
that's a good thing, right? But if they're not getting them and going bye-bye, that's not good. All right, so let's look at the next one here. QS this morning, another one down a big. QuantumScape down 17%, 925,000 shares traded. So that's not looking good there. Peter, we've seen this stock in our list plenty of times. We're very familiar with. I don't think I ever traded QuantumScape.
I used to love trading
it. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I love trading it. 2018, 2019, I traded QS a lot. In fact, I used it as an example in some of my webinars. But they had a downgrade, analyst downgrade, which is never good. They are cutting their guidance a little bit. Really, just they're moving their guidance to the low end of the spectrum. So no hugely bad news, but of course, like I said, often the guidance is what drives it. So you raise your guidance, you get rewarded. You reduce your guidance, you get hit. So they're getting hit.
Oh, there it is. Not sure if I want to add this to my list. I mean, it is a big drop, so maybe a secondary. It has got some good volume to it. Almost 1 million shares traded here, down 17%. You do have shares for sure. We're Interactive Brokers. This could be a fun one today. So I'm going to add it on our secondary list. We'll see how that looks in a couple of minutes here. Here's the next one at number 3 from the top to bottom here. NYCB, New York Community Bancorp. All right. So this is on the list this morning. Down 14%. Peter, what's driving this NYCB today?
Not a bank at, apparently.
Definitely not.
No. Okay.
We gotta see what their name is, because sometimes their name on the actual bank is different, right? So it might be different.
Well,
community bank,
maybe apparently they own Flagstar Bank. Does that sound more familiar?
That definitely does not sound more familiar. This is very community bank. Yeah.
Look, they've entered into a deal where it looks like they're going to be selling $1.4 billion of. They're going to receive $1.4 billion in cash for selling their mortgage servicing business. So I usually that's good news for the acquiree, right? The company that's selling. Usually it's good news for them. This seems to be not good news as their stock is moving down. So I don't know what to make of it. I don't know enough about the deal. I just know that they're selling not the whole bank, just that division. And I guess the market is saying they believe that they're undervaluing it. So
All right. So I don't think that's going to trade well today, guys. So
no,
just be
it's not
careful
going
if
to
you do
trade well.
decide to go
Not
with
going
that
to
one.
trade well.
Yes, that doesn't look good. Let's look
Partially
at
guaranteed.
Ford. Wow. Ford has
Ford.
not made our list in a very, very long time. But look at this beautiful drop yesterday here. And we're down 13.3, 5.6 million shares traded this morning. So definitely getting some action out of Ford today.
Ford. Yeah. Ford's long been beleaguered. It's probably one of the worst performing of the automotive stocks. And hey, Carlos,
Yeah,
do you know what Ford stands for?
of course. Found on road dead, right?
Found on road dead, or fix or repair daily. So
I like
there you
that.
go. So,
I
and
haven't heard that one.
apparently they're living up to the name because they missed their estimates this quarter, both revenue and bottom line, citing higher costs for warranty issues as the single largest impact item. Basically, they're having to repair their vehicles a lot more than anticipated, and the warranty repair costs have been a lot higher than budgeted. So they are suffering as a result of that. Now they've recently undergone a lot of sort of shakeups, so they've been trying to redesign. You know that their EV division wasn't doing well, right? They had the F-150 Lightning that was, started to sell well, had big hype, and then was having big trouble, especially through the winters, where people are having all sorts of troubles getting locked out of their vehicles, complete, like it would just die on them right in the middle of operation. So they've spent a lot of money trying to fix that division up. They're still having a bunch of reliability and warranty issues with their vehicles. So yeah, Ford is really, this is not, none of this is news, but it always gets brought to the forefront again when you have your earnings, and it's shown in the results. So I love where Ford is sitting on the daily. You got to keep in mind, look at this daily chart. Look how small these candles typically are. Ford is not one, like you're playing for pennies on Ford. As long as you know that,
Yeah.
there you can potentially get an opportunity. But you got to be very careful, very tight on your risk management, very precise in your goal setting and your targets. So I don't mind Ford, but most of the time it is ugly to watch and not very much fun. So do with it what you will. But
Yeah, it's not a it's tough to trade. It really is. So
it is.
I'd rather find something else. All right, we looked at EWQS, we looked at for NYCB and STM try to sneak in here. Let's see what's going on with STM this morning. They are down 13.6 now, 356,000 shares traded. So taking a bit of a hit here, as we see many others as well on this list. So Peter, anything specific on this one?
This is the company out of the Netherlands. They cut their guidance. So never good. Which is odd because their sector has been doing very well, right? This is one of the smaller semiconductors, not U.S. based. It said they're Netherlands based, and it's sort of weird that they've cut their guidance, but their business model is not doing as good as the industry average. So
Yeah. I'm not sure where to add this or not. Again, I like some of the names I'm seeing down here much better. And I want to get to some of those, even including some of the earnings we have. So we'll do that, Peter. Let's jump around a little bit. I know that let's look at American Airlines. American Airlines is on here. I know they had earnings. So we'll look at those. These guys down 3.6 now. What's down much lower this morning when earnings broke out, but recovering a little bit in the pre-market at the moment.
Well, American Airlines, had earnings this morning. They mixed picture. They missed revenue, beat on earnings, so they made more money than expected, but did it on lower revenue. So this industry has had a bunch of ups and downs. It could be that they're caught up. I mean, everybody's anticipating problems going forward. Of course, with all of the issues they've had over the last week with the big Microsoft outage, driven by the software, that ill-fated software upgrade that we're all familiar with at this point. That could be what's driving it. That doesn't affect these quarters' numbers because it would have happened after the quarter was closed. But everybody's anticipating it's going to affect their forward-looking forecast and take them down in the future. I think also, Carlos, since we're jumping around, I'll just mention the other airline that had earnings this morning was Southwest, which we sort of were joking that they were, the ones that weren't affected by this outage because they run everything off of some dusty old server sitting in a basement in New Jersey somewhere. But they actually beat their numbers, so they had a good quarter. However, they had to answer a bunch of tough questions from analysts at their investor call because they've had a number of close calls that the FAA is looking closely into. So these are near accident issues. Most of them were on the ground issues, right? They're either taxiing issues or service maintenance issues that would cause, sort of plane damage or interference. They're not in air issues. We definitely would have heard about that, right? If there was like near crashes in air or anything. But there's been enough close calls that it brings to light some safety management concerns with the FAA that they're looking into with Southwest. So that could be carrying on too. Like as soon as the FAA starts to look into something on one airline, right, it can cascade over to others. So don't know exactly, but I know for Southwest, that's what's tarnishing an otherwise good quarterly earnings report.
Yeah, I do like American Airlines. I like the volume we're getting here. Lower price stock now that's been dropping quite a bit here, but yeah, I like this one today. I think it could be a lot of fun, and I love the volume. Usually, when you get that type of volume, this can trade very well. So we'll keep that on deck. Any other airlines on here? I do not see any. Just those two for right now. I see SMR is on here. Any other SMR is on here? Any other? Oh no, it's not the semi. I'm confusing this with the other one. With the other semi, that's S, starts with an S, but that's not it. I do see Bitcoin. I see Riot. I see Mara on here. So let's take a look at that sector. Let's try to cover these by sectors, then we'll see what you have as far as earnings. So let's look at Mara. Mara on here today. It is down 1.9, 713,000. Look at the last couple of days. So nice sell-off on Mara here on the last couple of days. Riot as well is down. Peter, any specific news or just overall sell-off with the market on Bitcoin?
Yeah, I think it's really just Bitcoin prices. They tend to be affected heavily by that. Dropped again. They did announce that they had bought $100 million of additional Bitcoin. So not only are they mining it to discover it, right? They're buying into it, investing their own assets, and with the Bitcoin price then immediately dropping, that's not usually good. So I think that's what's affecting Mara. But overall, Bitcoin sitting at 64,000. If you remember yesterday, we were sitting around mid 65,000. So we're seeing the price continue to drop here on just the Bitcoin assets, and that's going to drag all of these Bitcoin miners down a little bit with them. But like I keep saying, intraday, these don't trade very well. So there's better things to look at, especially recently with semis.
They haven't been trading well. You're right. They have not been trading well. Maybe Mara a little bit, but no, they have not been. They're not what they used to be back just a few months ago. So yeah, let's head on down here, guys. All right. So what else we see that we like here? We looked at that. PLTR is one that many people like, and we'll look at MU and the tech next. So if we look at PLTR, what do we have here? We are down 2% this morning, 1.3 million shares traded. I know people are going to like this drop this morning. Anything specific on PLTR or just overall market stuff? Looks like just overall market on this.
AI. Everybody loves AI. Well, I didn't think this was news because it seems like I already knew this. There was news that they are collaborating with Oracle. It seems to me that we'd already talked about this, but it's all, Oracle's one of the big gorillas out there in the ERP space, right? Big back-end engines for large corporations. So it's always good when you get to collaborate with them. This is specifically on their CRM sales modules. And that's good news for PLTR. Going to provide some AI insight, I guess, into that module design and customer integration services. So PLTR, that should be good news. That should be moving them up. But as I said, I think we already knew that. So
Yeah, I don't think that's new. Um, all right, man. This list, I'll tell you, the few things that we look down here don't look great, but I know some really good ones. Like, we'll start with you, Peter, and see what you got as far as earnings, and then we'll look at some of our favorites, like Tesla. Yes, guys, we'll look at that. We'll look at Amazon. We'll look at the other stuff that's been trading really well, especially in this type of market. So, Peter, what do you have in your end as far as earnings goes on the gap down?
sure. Well, let's start with a couple of I just have a couple more earnings that hadn't made our list yet. So I can't remember what we've talked about now. How about Las Vegas Sands? I don't think we've talked about them.
Nope.
LVS. Las Vegas Sands had earnings last night. They were the last of my ones that were trading after hours yesterday. Missed their numbers. Actually had a poor quarter, and that sort of made them stand out, but not in a good way from the rest of the sort of gambling casino scene. Apparently, the Balis I was talking about earlier, they're a casino. They are not the fitness thing. Apparently, there's too many L's. I got it wrong. So sorry about that, everyone. But anyways, but overall, we'd seen growth in both Vegas and Macau, which tend to be the two areas that drive most of the casinos and their results. Las Vegas Sands saw a little bit of contraction. So they're a bit of an outlier here and didn't have a good quarter as a result of that. So typically difficult volumes to trade. I'd always like to think they trade well, but very rarely have they. So, but be aware of it in case you'd like it. The only other one that we haven't talked about yet is Honeywell, I think. HON. There's lots of earnings out there, by the way, and I don't intend to go through them all, but Honeywell was one that I was watching just because they've got a lot going on. And I was surprised that they had such a good quarter. So they beat their numbers top and bottom line. So it was a good quarter for them. They, in fact, also raised their guidance. However, they're gapping down this morning. I think it's more of a concern about what they're going to be able to do going forward. They've been busy because they are working on 3 different acquisition acquisitions they've already announced, right? There was a $5 billion acquisition of Access Solutions, a $1.9 billion of CAES Systems, a $1.8 billion of Air Products LNG. They're integrating all of those right now, and they say it's all going very well, but it looks like the market remains a little bit skeptical. They even increased their dividend. Their guidance is up. Like, again, the business news is all good. The concerns seem to remain. So Honeywell is one that also trades with lowered volume. We're only talking about 2 million shares on average, which means we'd have to see a whole lot of volume come in as the market opens. Right now, sitting pretty anemic, so probably not going to be a top target. If you want to talk top targets, well, you never go any farther than the old standbys, right? So outside of earnings, look, Tesla. Oh my goodness, did Tesla have a sad day yesterday? It moved down off the open and never looked back. It just kept going. It was trying to grab onto that greasy rope and it just couldn't. I mean, it didn't drop like $100, but it dropped 40, and it was a pretty big move. You look at where it closed the day before to where it closed yesterday. Yeah, it was quite a slide. So today, I don't know. The greasy rope. Yeah, that's Jonathan's favorite trading strategy. Well, it happens. So anyway, so we'll see what happens with Tesla. It's going to be in play today. It usually is today, even more so than the rest. And again, up or down, I've got no idea, but I'm going to watch it and we'll see what it tells us. Nvidia and AMD, 2 other stocks that had some interesting price action. Semiconductors is always in play recently, so I think we've got to take a look at those. Yesterday, Nvidia did made some good moves off the open, quieted out, got a little quieter through the afternoon, right? A little choppy, but still made some moves if you were interested in playing it. And the surprise for me actually was Amazon. Amazon always likes to move when you think it shouldn't, right? Amazon days were last week. Did it move? Not really. But yesterday, it had the nice move. Now, it wasn't positive for the long-term shareholders. It was a downward move, but it did move. and it provided some trading opportunity, which is really what we care about. So today, can it recover that? Potentially. I think it is gapping up in the early morning. If it was earlier, yeah, it's up about 1%. So it looks like it's once again in play. Almost a million shares traded already today. So I think those are the ones that are at the top of the list. I mean, remember we had Google earnings yesterday. Google was a little less exciting, to be honest, yesterday, in my opinion. Didn't have as much fun in its movement, not as much price action that was tradable. But so I think I'll be sticking with maybe the Amazons and the semiconductors and the Teslas and some of these earnings that we've talked about. SMCI
makes perfect sense. Yep.
Massness here's people love to follow SMCI. I know, because people keep asking about it. I've got to be honest. My take of it is its time has passed. It was really, really exciting when SMCI made that massive run back right at the beginning of the year from 300 to 1,000. But the volumes are still higher now than they were pre that move. But I just don't like it. I don't like the price action. I don't like its movement. I see that it's at the bottom end of a range, and if it breaks through 700, there's like $100 move that it could easily get down to 6. But the spread is difficult. It can be a little choppy. Like you can jump $2 to $3 on SMCI in a heartbeat, and it's very difficult to manage your risk to reward. So if I'm going to trade the sector, I'll trade the ones we've already talked about. This one is just too risky for me. It's not easy to effectively manage your risk. So
the spread is not fun, and when you have a spread that wide, even if the market open, it's going to get better. Obviously, it's not going to stay. Right now, it's $2 basically, right? Because it's like zero. It's like somebody here with like 2 shares, 3 shares, like all these zeros. Is someone with less than 100 shares. So just you can't really count on any of this until you get to like 700. And you can count until you get to like 702.98, right? There's actually 100 shares there, 400 there. So it'll get better at the market open, but it's not by much. So you got to be careful. All right, let's see what you guys like. Let's start over here in our chat, friends. SMCI, we're just talking about that now. Just be careful, and also, again, depends on your strategy and your risk management. We might call it crap, and you might call it gold, depending on what you're doing. So keep that in mind, right? We don't know your specific strategy. So be aware of that as well. Nvidia being mentioned in chat. Yeah, we do have Nvidia on deck. I think that's a good one. So I did add Nvidia, Amazon, Tesla, and American Airlines with their volume today and earnings. I think it's going to trade very well. A lot of the stuff that had earnings doesn't look good, guys. There's a bunch of earnings stuff on here that I wish we could have added some more to our list. But as Peter was going through them, they just don't look great. They got news, they're gapping up and down. But as far as intraday trading, they're not looking very nice right now. BTI, I believe we did look at this. This is up 4%. Foreign ticker, so I normally don't trade it. The price actually could be a little bit funky. But today, if they're going to be in play or trade any type of action, today's the day.
Indeed. Carlos, I'm worried that we're keeping you late, and I don't want to make you late.
I'm tracking. I got an appointment at 10. I got to run to, but I'm tracking the GPS here. So right now, I still get there at 9:45. But yeah, we've got to start wrapping it up. But this is what we do: is Peter's going to stick around with you guys and take you through some of this stuff until Brian and Andrew does join. Let's finalize this list. We'll do levels, so now I'll let you jump into announcements and the moderators list. How about that? So let's see what else we want to add on here. What else you guys like this morning? Nvidia. Yep, Nvidia is on deck. We mentioned that one. CrowdStrike, the company you don't want consumers to know about, and now they do, right? Because when they do, it's never good. It's bad things. I was talking to someone in chat here. They're an IT guy, and they know ServiceNow. It's like a big company, right? Well, I don't know that company because I'm not in IT at all, right? And I shouldn't know that company. People that know CrowdStrike now, that are the regular consumers that are not in IT, should not know about this company, but they know about it now because they messed up their flight plan, right? So that is not a good way you want your name to get out there, right? Some companies should never be known to certain people. CrowdStrike, I like it. I think it's going to be in play for the next couple of days. We mentioned this. Another big sell-off yesterday. It's trying to hold on to this level, trying to find some support. Volume is coming down a little bit, so I think it's a good one for a secondary type play. We'll put it on here, but for the most part, eventually the volume is going to keep dying down, and it might not be as great as it has been in the last couple of days, right? So be mindful of that. It's not going to hold on to this volume forever. So we'll see. Netflix. Let's take a look at Netflix. NFLX. We'll do a few more. I know they had their earnings, and it was very weird the way they reacted to their earnings and their numbers. But I don't see anything great right now. Again, nothing happens pre-market. Got to wait for the market open. Look at it yesterday. Nothing happened here, and then it did take off. So you got to be patient on this one and kind of wait for the bell and see where things are going to lead to on that one. Very messy daily, though. Look how messy this is. A huge range. I mean, what is this? 680 to 631. But man, that is an ugly daily. But still, some possible opportunities is volume can come in, especially if the market tries to rebound. Right now, the market is dragging a lot of things down, as you see on our gappers list. So if it can rebound, maybe there could be some opportunities there. All right, I'm gonna check just a few more here very quickly, and then we'll head over to levels. PBM, no. Penny, oh, roll the truck on that. Let's roll the truck. No. All right, let's go to POAI. All right, Pig Wrestler. Pig Wrestler's liking these lower flow stocks here. Look at this one. This one is okay. I like this one. 31 million shares traded. Now, this is for the low flow stock traders. If you like that, this is in play. I'm not going to add it to my list. I normally don't trade these very well. But 31 million shares traded, man. This is rocking up 120%. So that's, you know what, risky pile. That'll be fun to watch today. But again, be very, very careful on that one. POAI. Oh, look at that. They managed to put AI on their ticker. Awesome. All right, let's last but not least, I'm gonna look at the Starbucks because I do like Starbucks when it is in play, but today it's not that day. So I don't see them being in play this morning. So we'll skip them. All right, friends, let's get some levels in here, and then I'll leave you with Peter. American Airlines, Tesla, Nvidia, and Amazon. I mean, we're back at our list. This list looks good. Their pre-market looks great. They do have tons of volume. American Airlines low of the pre-market sitting at 917. We'll slam that there towards the top. The high of the pre-market, pretty much the previous day closest. You don't have to do anything here. Look how low we are on American Airlines. We haven't been down here in a very, very long time. So I like American Airlines here. This is where usually you start to find some support. So we'll see. But it's 52-week low. I mean, this is probably the last time we were here was with COVID, I would think. Yeah, it was. And below that, we do have a level here. It's going to be like 8,000, I think is what we hit. 821. So we'll slam one there on American Airlines. We're going to go back, and then zoom in again. And towards the top, guys, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days got you covered on American Airlines after earnings today, trying to recover here as it keeps moving higher. Here is Tesla. Again, beautiful pre-market activity, guys. Look how active this is. Look at the volume. I mean, this is just sexy. That is what that is. So Tesla, we're going to mark down the low of the pre-market here. It's going to be down at 210. So we'll slam one there. And the high of the pre-market above the previous day close, 218.11. Looking really good this morning. Towards the top, you do have the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, but you do have to mark down at least this 240, 234. It's a good area there. It's worth noting that. And then towards the bottom, we are going to mark down at 297, another good area just in case we do drop this morning. But right now, we're seeing some strength in the stock, at least at the moment. Was down quite a bit, recovering, heading into that green territory. Nvidia right now is looking also very nice, very clean pre-market and activity with 13 million. That's a lot. That's the most I've seen on Nvidia in ever, I guess. I don't know. So it's a lot of shares. 13 million shares traded so far into the green, as low as 111.51. So 111.51 cents. High of the pre-market 115.46. And then once we scroll to the left, we can get some levels towards the bottom here in case we do decide to drop lower. That's going to be 109.90 and also 107.15. So there you have it for Nvidia. Last but not least is going to be Amazon. So Amazon this morning will remove some of the levels we have on here. And low of the pre-market for Amazon is going to be 179.68. And the high of the pre-market, 183.88. So that's looking good there. Then you're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. One more level towards the bottom in case the market, again, guys, it's all about the market these next couple of days. 177.99 in case the market, we look at the SPY now, in case we continue to see a lot of weakness. Yesterday, nice sell-off there, dragging a lot of tickers down, and that's what you kind of been seeing. All right, I see a Moderators got their list together. Peter's going to run you through that, and I see Andrew's ready, got his camera ready to go. So once Peter's done with his list, you get Andrew in there to trade live. So guys, take care, trade safe. I'll leave you with Peter for the Moderators list.
Okay. Before we do that, random, our members bring up interesting things sometimes. Somebody mentioned Starbucks. I was looking for news on it, and I do notice that one of their point of sale partners, a company called Task, is being investigated by the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, for price collusion using AI tools. So here's an example of where AI is not being accepted well. They're using what we sometimes hear as dynamic pricing, that the FTC is actually calling surveillance pricing, where they actually dynamically change the price of coffee on certain locations based on demand. I mean, not a surprise if anybody's taken an Uber, you're familiar with surge pricing, which just says when you need it most, we're going to charge you more. So I found that was an interesting random piece of news, but probably not going to affect the Starbucks stock. What I did run into sideways, do you know that Luckin Coffee is still trading out there? This thing is like a cockroach. I thought it died. Didn't Luckin Coffee get delisted? Apparently it's out there and it's still trading under the ticker LKNCY. You can still find it, LKNCY. So I don't know who's trading this. Apparently not many people, not much volume. Here it is. It's there. You can still trade shares of Luckin Coffee if you're really that crazy. So go for it. Anyways, all right. Well, those little tidbits that I discovered this morning. Let's go through our moderators list because we are running short of time before the open. Real quickly, I'll just mention that it looks like pretty much all of our moderators are watching Amazon today and Nvidia for the most part. It's on everybody's list. So Amazon and Nvidia seem to be the big two that people are watching. In addition, Thor is going to be looking at the overall markets, the SPY and the Qs, and AMD. Eamon, unlike everyone else, he's not liking anything today. He's very cautious in his trading, and then that's good. So he's very careful. I want to say happy birthday to the people in Eamon's life. I was looking at him on social media. He had this fantastic birthday parties. I don't know if you saw that with the balloons and the thing and the view over the city. Looked awesome. So happy enjoying that birthday celebration for. Anyways, it's up to him to release that. But anyways, okay, moving on. Lenny's going to be watching, in addition to Amazon and Nvidia, Tesla, MU, IBM, RTX, one we didn't look at, Lulu, another one we didn't look at, and STM that we did look at briefly and didn't like. Apparently he does. Brian Pesum is going to be trading live with you. Is going to be watching the same old Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, and MU. So very heavy on the semiconductor sector right there. Jared is going to keep his list tight, only on Nvidia. Mike is just watching the two that I mentioned, the top two, Amazon and Nvidia. Andrew is going to sort of stick with Brian here, watching Lulu and STM. I think they're in Vancouver. You watch Lulu or they raise your taxes or something. It's a rule. And then Paris is going to be watching the same old with Chipotle and Broadcom, AVGO added onto the list. And last but not least, Phil is going to be looking at the standards, including my buddy AMD. So with that, we're only a couple of minutes away from the open. Let me hand it over to Brian and to Andrew. Take us into the open, gentlemen. How are you both doing today?
I am doing well, thank you.
Excellent.
Yes,
and we're over here, Andrew. Andrew? Hey,
good morning,
there he
everybody.
is.
I'm here, yes.
All right.
Welcome to another episode of We Are Losing Everything. Yesterday, market was down like 4%.
Can I ask you, you posted fireworks. Why were there fireworks in Vancouver last night?
Because of the market, it was down 4%. That was the reason. No, it's just an annual thing that goes into Vancouver. There are 3 nights of fireworks. It's an annual celebration of lights.
Okay.
All right. So why Lulu is down? Lulu was the earning. It doesn't have a lot of volume though. I can't believe Lulu is setting off like that.
Lulu's really been under pressure for quite some time. Even since the last earnings release here. I think there's a like this apparel space. There's a lot of competition. Lulu was sort of the only athletic wear, real serious athletic wear that you could buy. But now it seems like it's a super crowded space. What's that one Viore? Fiore is another one. And there's a whole bunch of other ones. So maybe,
Why MU is down like that? Do you know why MU is down like that?
I don't
It's
know.
getting destroyed.
I don't know.
All right, so for me, we're gonna wait for opening range breakout. I'm not really super excited about anything. The usual suspects might give us something. Let's see what PLTI is doing. PLTR. What is the volume? That's good volume. Tesla might go. It's a little bit tricky. It's above the VWAP for 1 minute open range breakup, but yeah, it's a little bit. Tesla is a little bit tricky. Price action in the pre-market. Yeah, these are a little bit tricky. What's Nvidia doing?
Nothing for me yet. I'm just sort of waiting to see what starts to move here. Google went green. Tesla still is seeming strong.
Yeah, Tesla looks like did a really nice 1 minute range breakup, but the problem was it was way too above the VWAP, so that's why I didn't want to take it.
Yeah.
So Tesla is one of those stocks that gives you a hard time. In the first 5 minutes, let's see, the SPY is popping up. Nvidia, not super excited about it either. What's MU doing? They have good volume on MU. Ooh, rejected. MU could be a short potentially. Oh, Tesla is nice.
Yeah.
Tesla gave us a really good pullback too. Yeah, selling off. Yeah. It turned out to be a nice short. User dropping, Amazon popped up. Yeah, Tesla and Amazon turned out to be good, strong stocks.
Yeah, Tesla seems to be good. I just went long just a little bit at 219, just because I'm not really super keen on it, but it seems to be wanting to pop here.
Tesla went to 220. IWM is ripping again.
Oh, yeah.
So Nvidia has this 112 area yesterday. Hold it. It's in the daily chart. Really super keen to take any trade on these guys.
Yeah, I'm getting out of Tesla flat here. Just don't like the way it's trading.
You take into the long?
No, I was long. I should have partialed at 220, but I didn't. So I just got in at 219 and got out at 219.
Nvidia is interesting. Nvidia turned out to be super weak. I should have taken short Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia is super weak. See if you can get a pullback on it to short Nvidia. Nvidia is going through S4. I'm getting some short on Nvidia. Might add more if it pops up. So their big asks are. Let's see if you can get to S4. I'm short on Nvidia. 1177. I think a little bit more short on it here at 112. Let's see if you can go toward S4. The risk to reward isn't super great because I have to give it room near the VWAP, but I might get only $1. So the risk to reward isn't great, but let's see if you can scalp it, get lucky.
Yeah, just I'm back long in Tesla.
Tesla. Oh yeah, it's the new investment.
Okay, here we go.
So I'm short Nvidia at 112. Brian is long Tesla at around 220. Nvidia can
I
go to
just sold some
S4.
at 220. Sold some at 220.50.
Right, so let's see. Nvidia is going to go to S4. S4 is at 11.10. Sure, too early. Get me S4. Okay, so I'm going to start partialing. This is S4. Now I partial good because I took also very big size. So that's S4 and Nvidia 111. Let's see if we can break 111. We're in business. They're big ask, huge ask, and one. All right, so broke down. So I'm partialing now. I have 8,000 shares left on Nvidia. You could also buy puts on it, so that would have been a very nice trade. Partialing out more. This was not a super great trade for me because kind of risk to reward is meh. Should have cut it a little bit earlier, but it did turn out. So I now I have only 5,000 shares of Nvidia left. Nice. So that was an interesting trade.
Just sold some more Tesla. I don't really like. It seems like this R3 level is going to be a issue. So down to a small size on this. Yep.
All right, so Tesla, I don't know why it just popped up even so above the VWAP. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Right, so Nvidia, I'm getting a stop down at 112, which is my average. So now that I've partialed nicely, so my stop loss is at 112. So it's a little bit tricky because if my entry was around a little bit higher, it would have been better. But now most likely I'm going to get a stop down. There you go. So it's coming to stop me out. Right, I'm getting out of Nvidia. I covered completely my shorts, guys. Let's see what's going to do. If it comes above the VWAP, I might actually go long on it because it might become like a 5-minute engulfing. So it bounced very nice from S4. SPY is popping up. Qs are popping up. MU popped up. Wow.
Yeah, a bit. All right. Well, see if we can get to 222 here on Tesla. It's got to break out of this through this R3 level. 220.80. Here we are. We're right at R3 again. Let's go, baby. Come on. Here we go.
Oh yeah, this is nicely.
Just sold a little bit more at 221.40. All right. Big order at 222.
I don't know if I should take it long on Nvidia or not, but it looks like to me it wants to go back up to VWAP. I'm kind of tempted to take a long on it, but I don't have a trade book here. If it comes above the VWAP and become an engulfing, then I'll take it. But I don't take it long now. No, because I made the same mistake yesterday. I went long too early, and then it sold off. I think it's best for me to wait if it comes above the VWAP.
Qs and SPY are selling off. 222. Come on. There we go.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
Sold more. Yeah.
Yeah, Tesla is amazing. Great trade, Brian. This is really nice.
Yeah. Everybody love to love Tesla.
It got destroyed yesterday, so.
I know.
Okay, so Nvidia is popping up. Should I bet that on Nvidia we're going to go to VWAP? No. I'm going to take a long on NVIDIA, 120.25. It's not a super nice trade because it hasn't really got into the VWAP, but yeah, I'm going to get this long on it. I might regret doing that. I don't really have much of a trade book, but NVIDIA 112.20. That looks super. I'm long on NVIDIA at 112.22, hoping to get above the VWAP. Although I don't have, again, a very nice trade book on it. But it looks like it wants to go above the VWAP. Really ripping. Right, so NVIDIA is squeezing above the VWAP. Let's see if we can get to above 113. Maybe I should partial now. I'm going to add a little bit here. See if we can get another pop on NVIDIA. Let's see if we can get above 113. My stop loss would be probably 111.60. But if we can break a little bit higher, then I would have been a very good profit.
Just it sold some more there at 223. I'm almost out of shares, actually.
It's a nice trade on Tesla. Very nice trade. He hit the scanner still.
Looking good, yeah. 225. There's still, maybe I'll just save the rest for 225 if we get there.
ATX. Vktx is ripping. What's happening with this guy? Viking Therapeutic. This one was a penny stock, wasn't
Viking?
it? Yeah, I remember that.
They had some positive test data on some GLP-1 thing.
Wow.
Yes.
Right, NVIDIA is trying to hold above the VWAP. If you can, market the SPY went green. That's good. Hues are going to go green. Oh, there you go. So now we are going to, NVIDIA, if it breaks, might go green for the day. Should I hold it or should I be greedy? I'm going to be greedy.
I think, I would hold it to 114. I'd hold it to 114.
I just get partial out just for fun a little bit.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to partial.
No, it wouldn't hurt. I took a small 10%. So let's see if we can go above 113.60. If these levels break out, it might go green. So I might actually add more on it. But I just don't want to be having I have a really good day. Short was great, and this long was also a very big size. So let's see if you can get through this level of 113.50, is going to go green, because I don't think there's anything else stopping it. Market seems that is also bouncing back toward the green. MU, for example, went really nice pop back up, so semis might recover a little bit. See, I'm afraid of these big drops, like them. Yeah, Viking rallied like crazy. It was a penny stock a few months ago. Now it's just $62.
No, it wasn't a penny stock. It actually was trading up around in May. It was trading up around $80.
Did anyone took Nvidia or Tesla with me or Brian in the chat or in YouTube? Let's see if NVIDIA survives this pullback. There's so many resistances on NVIDIA on 1 minute and 5 minutes. So many resistances. Let's see if you can survive this pullback or not. Most likely not. I'm glad I partialed out a little bit. IWM still hitting the scanner, man. This IWM is ripping.
TNA, baby.
Houston, I don't have any TNA.
No, I know. Neither do I. I'm just wishing I had.
Nice. Nice. I see in YouTube people did really nice trades on NVIDIA options. It's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, sweet.
Let's see if NVIDIA holds the VWAP or not. That's the moment of truth. The third 5 minute was kind of doji style, but it looks like it's going up. I might actually have some opportunity to partial more here. I'm partialing more here to book some good profit. If it goes above 113.50, means that it breaks out above all of these levels. I might add back in there, but for now, I also take big size, so that's a little bit tricky. Oh, see, it is rejecting the previous day close.
Previous day low.
The VWAP. Do not be that guy.
Wow. Amazon went red, surprisingly.
So I'm very close to get a stopped out on NVDA. All right, I'm getting a stopped out on NVDA, guys. I'm all out of NVDA. It might go back up, but I just can't hold it. It's against my rules. Plus, this one was not a super great trade because there was so many resistances. You look at my chart on 1 minute, there's so many resistances on moving averages and previous day high, same as 5 minutes. So really, I don't want to mess around in that region that much. If ever comes back up, it squeezes above 113, maybe 40, maybe I go back long again. But I also had a pretty good day. So I don't really see these two trades, even though they were not really quick, big moves. It was really good, profitable for me. Tesla was a very nice breakout that Brian took it almost 2% move.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to get to 225. We'll see what it does here at the 9 EMA. See if we get a bounce. This Viking looks like it's going to go to 65. Almost took it on that pullback. Kind of just don't like the spread on it. It's like 30 cents. Nvidia, okay, guys got, seems like a lot of people played Nvidia, very good.
Yeah, it was great trading day. Nice. Rashid, what did you trade? American Airline, huh? Yeah, Peter was talking about airlines and stuff. Americans up 5%, huh?
Wow, yeah, American really took off.
Is airlines earning now, huh? Because they usually have the earning early.
Yeah, usually, yeah, Delta Airlines is usually one of the first to report.
Delta, it's up 1%. All right, I had a pretty good day, guys. I'm sitting at $24,000 right now. That was really nice. I don't have any other day trade position. So that was a very nice, good scalp on NVDA, both long and short, even though the long one wasn't really super my trade book. The trade book that I love, that I wish had seen it, was if this candle if this 5 minute becomes an engulfing, you can see on my chart in 5 minutes, then that would have been going very long heavy. That would have been a really nice. This would have been a very bullish pattern if it would have been a 5-minute engulfing, bullish engulfing. And if you don't know what bullish engulfing is, if you go to the Education Center and the basic strategies, I explained that, and there's a lot of recaps on YouTube about this. So it's my favorite pattern. If it happens, it's usually very powerful. So SPY is trying to come back up above the VWAP.
Yeah, we've got pretty choppy so far, price action. I think it's kind of what you expect after a day of strong buying or strong selling, one of the two.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Lulu is just getting destroyed. It's such a great company. I thought that this company had amazing run back in December, broke up to 500, and now it's 254.
Yeah,
this is just another perfect example of you shouldn't invest in the single companies. It's funny, I remember that back in December, I was saying that, Lulu is such a great company, so much potential. Like, what the hell do I know? You had that. No, I was thinking of, because I went to South America, there was no Lululemon like in Colombia. I said, well, imagine if Lulu, penetrates into South American market, which is huge. And it's a culture that people take care of their clothes and stuff. That would have been such a market. But, shut up, Andrew. What do you know about growing a company in a different continent?
You're not a good apparel analysis or analyst.
Exactly. Just buy your SPY and shut up.
See, I'm even wearing my Lululemon top here today. Just
Amazon is still selling off, huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Amazon's really nice dropping. Google is also hitting the scanner. Google is getting destroyed.
It's funny how it was so strong at the in the pre-market, and as soon as we opened, it just started selling off. It's crazy.
Selling the puts on Google. I don't think we get that much premium, huh?
It's already reported, so yeah, you wouldn't get a lot.
160.
There goes Viking 65.
But Nvidia. Let's see if you can sell copies on Nvidia.
Lulu was a pretty decent rising devil trade.
109. Nvidia is also tricky.
Man,
you don't get much.
Look at Amazon's getting destroyed.
Tesla looks like it's holding ABC pattern for the Reco 5 today.
Yeah. Still got a few
What about
shares
puts
left.
200 puts 17 cents. Not bad. Today's Thursday, huh?
It's Thursday, yep.
So I get 20 cents for Tesla puts for a day and a half. Not bad.
20 cents.
That puts for 1 day and a half. Tesla is not going to drop another 10% in 2 days, is it?
Just short Nvidia. See if we get back down here.
Nvidia is saying off. Well, I'm glad I got out of Nvidia. That's good.
Just going to cover some here. 111.20. Just covering more. Should have got into this trade a little earlier, but it's okay. I can kind of see it rolling over.
Nvidia is going down, Brian.
I know. I'm short it right now.
LTR.
Just seeing if it gets into this 111.
Guys, I think I need to restart my PC. So give me 1 second to restart my PC. It's kind of weird slow.
Covering. Just
So I'll
covering
be
some
back in a
more.
second, guys.
Just covered some more just on that 110 print. 110.96. Might even have more downside. There's an order at 110. Still holding short on downside for Nvidia. I'm out of Tesla. They only had a few shares left anyway, so Tesla's at low of day right now. And just cover some more here at 56. Yeah, I'm looking for this this level here. A lot of orders here around 110. Qs are selling off. Wow, Amazon, AMD all dropping as well. Just cover some more. 110.20. Right. Nvidia. Here we go. Look at it eat into this order. As Thor would say, num, 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 num. Wow, here we go. Shorted. More. There's covered some more here. 109.90. Yeah, Nvidia is going to sub 100 maybe. All right. Well, I'm David. I'm covered. I'm pretty much done with Nvidia. Covered the rest of my shares there. on that last of just 109 prints. Wow. It could have shorted any of the semis, AMD.
Back on for YouTube. Sorry.
I think she did. You're right. I can blame this on Megan.
All right, guys. I'm
All right.
sorry about that, guys. I'm back in the. My computer for some reason was super slow. I haven't restarted for a long time, so I'm back into this situation. So Nvidia is getting destroyed. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I shorted it from about a 111.50.
Nice.
So I got a nice.
So if
I got a nice short on it.
nice, let's see if we can get to 107, 107 area, which is this an important level. Maybe we can get bounce on that. Market is still weak. I told you, another episode of We Lost Everything.
This area here is kind of right above a gap fill, or right above a gap.
Yeah, just right up with the gap. But if he sells off to 107, then that would be really nice.
Yeah. That would be 106. What is this? 106.50 would be a gap fill.
He shall get something there. BDA, AMD, yes, the whole semis are. SOXS probably is very up. SOXL is down another 10%. Jesus. One of my employees, Leo, he buys this SOXL. I told him, dude, sell it. He says, no, I believe in that. I said, dude, sell this SOXL. He was trading like at 6. I told Leo, yeah, Brian knows Leo. He says, no, I believe in that. I said, dude, sell it. These leverage products, I lost millions on them. Listen to me. SOXL is the ETF, leverage ETF for semiconductors. So it's like TNA or TQQ, but for like 100, is it 100 or maybe 10 or 20 companies that are big in semiconductors.
Yeah, there's people just get married to a position. Like he did really well with that for quite a while. I'm sure he's probably he might even be still up on it, but like you said, it's people get this mindset that they can't sell it.
What about selling puts on SOXL? Let's see what 35, what do you get? 58 cents, 60 cents, 37. Yeah, we don't get that much though. For next week, we get $2.40 for 35 is 1.670. Idea to sell some puts on for next week. Brian, what do you think? What's your thought on that?
Puts on SOXL.
SOXL, yeah.
It's kind of. Let's take a look.
For next week, 36.
Looking for levels here.
really beaten up, these semiconductors.
Yeah. Man, it's gone from 3 weeks ago. It topped at 70, and now it's at 38.70.
Right.
Wow.
I sent 100 contracts for next week at $2.13. Let's see if I get filled or not. Just for fun. Worst case scenario, we buy SOXL. Well, I didn't get filled. But the problem with these volatile options are, the spread is really bad. So I send the order. Yeah. So I send the order for 100 contracts at 213. Let's see if I get filled or not. That requires another big dump in semis. You may not really get that bounce, but worst case scenario, we buy SOXL at 36 and we become a long-term investor, huh? What do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, there you go. Idea. If that's what, yeah. If that's what.
I think I'm going to get filled now. Okay, here we go.
Wow, another leg down on Nvidia. The selling is relentless. There's levels of 107, 106.50, 106, 105.
I might get a reversal on that at that 107.
We're going to get it. At some point, we're going to get a reversal for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually glad somebody mentioned about this gamma squeeze and stuff. So tonight we have a special presentation at 7 p.m., guys. We have a really good options trader externally from Gamma Spots that they're going to come and talk about these gamma squeezes and how options actually can impact the movement of the stocks. Like we all know about these famous gamma squeezes that happened in the market. So they have a product called the Gamma Spot that can help finding these squeezes. And they asked me, oh, there you go. I got filled actually, SOXL 213. So I told them instead of that, come and give us an educational presentation. I don't want a sales pitch of your software, but give us, teach us something some of the fundamentals of these gamma squeezes. So tonight at 7 p.m. they're going to come, and tomorrow after live trading, they're going to come and show in real time that how you can actually, with their softwares, you can find these kind of things. So at 7 p.m., guys, I'm going to send an email I'm going to buy some Nvidia here at 107.40. If it did a double bottom, I might add more because it seems that we're getting into an area that could potentially... Down a little bit further. I'm going to add a little bit more here at 106.86. All right, I got filled a little bit more here. I also got SOXL at 36 for next week. I got $2.13 filled on that. No, that would be a BBT webinar. But again, I promise you it's not going to be a sales pitch for their software. They came to me and said, can you introduce our software to your community? And I said, no, I'm not going to introduce the community, a software to the community. If you want to teach us something, come for a special education. And I specifically told them no sales pitch. Give us some fundamentals of, of how these options work and how we can actually, as a day trader, benefit from it. And they said, okay. See if I'm going to get a stopped out on this or not. So it looks like it's bouncing back. I'm going to add a little bit more here. Let's see if we can get a quick pop on it.
This is weird.
What?
Oh, no, it's okay. It looked like my one of my platforms was lagging. Like I'm looking at bookmap pricing, and then I'm looking at DOS, and they're not the same.
What happened? What was that? Wait, what was that pop? Oh,
I don't know.
Did you see that week?
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. We're gonna go up there. There you go. Come on.
There's something. Am I looking at the same thing here? The fuck.
Come on. Up to 108.
Is anybody else's DOS lagging? Because I didn't even see that wick until you made.
That's why I restarted, Brian. That's why I restarted that. I was having issues with my DAS. That's why I restarted my computer. Sometimes restart helps. Let's see if you can do 108 on Nvidia.
Yeah, I just have to go by my. Bookmap data.
Level, this 107, around 107 level is a big area back into the daily chart. That could be a good example of a daily level. I'll see if it works. Like in May 31st. Although for this kind of balance, you definitely better to look for a double bottom, or at least a 5 minute
like a retest on the pullback. Yeah.
It's the low of the day again. So a stop loss here for me is, break of 106.50. Which is very close. But we're going to see. It break. See what's going to happen here. I get out of it and take them back. It is still big sell-off happening. All right, so looks like it's bouncing. Let me add a little bit here at 107.30. Looks like it's holding. If 5 minute becomes like a doji and making you 5 minute high, then we can get a pop. I don't expect this one goes back to rewrap, but if we can get at least 108 or 108.50 would be nice. It's tricky to take this kind of catching the knives. You got to be really careful. But
yeah, just got to make sure you honor your
don't
stops.
blow up your account. Yeah. It's trying to struggle to hold.
Wow, Qs are down at S4.
Yeah, there's just below this 4. Let's see. It's 5 minute candlestick is gonna do, and then see if you're in business or not. Still weakness, huh? Shit.
Still no love.
These companies are $1 billion companies, like popping up and down 7%.
Wow, Jensen Huang he sold a lot of shares like a couple of weeks ago. That was pretty.
All of them sold at the top. Like everybody, Jeff Bezos.
Zuckerberg sold some Facebook. What's his name? Bezos was selling shares.
A
couple of weeks ago.
Million.
No, I think founders, people that are in management get shares as part of their compensation. I mean, so.
All right.
It's not.
All right. Let's see. 5 minute. 5 minute closes as a doji in 10 seconds, and 5 minute, then we make a new 5 minute high on a candlestick. So that's really good. Okay. Let's see. I might survive this mess. I added more on Nvidia, guys. Now I have a really big position on it. Let's see if we can get to about 108. Again, I don't expect this one to go green or above VWAP, but okay, I'm getting out some here.
Yeah, I'd partial here because we're right at the 9 EMA.
I have a big size, guys, on it, so this was a tricky trade. So it's coming back.
Kind of pretty much a double bottom on a 1 minute chart. This is where it's going to get tricky here, right at this 9 EMA. See if it can get through there.
So this is a good example of a daily level. If we can hold it. I got in a little bit too early. I might actually, probably a better entry would have been around 10.12 or 10.13. So when you actually see the test of that level. All right, so now we're getting up. I have a big size guy on Nvidia, partialing out 108.50, very big size on it. So now I'm slowly partialing out. Now 5 minutes is clear all the way to 109.50, which is the next moving average. 1 minute, we're popping up above. Oh, perfect, guys. This is really nice. What a profit. Let's see if we can get to 109. Did anyone took this guy? I know you, Brian, took it, huh?
Yeah.
What's SOXL doing? SOXL is trading at 39. That's good. That's good. So partialing out more, guys, at 109 here. Very beautiful. We might get to 109.50.
Yeah, there's
some
orders.
Right?
There's some orders right under the VWAP here.
I actually get that. Wow, what a great trade. What a great trade. Oh, yeah. Guys, this is my positions. You can actually see that this is my open position right now. So I still have a lot of Nvidia. It's going up very nicely. Let's see if we can get to 1950. I also sold SOXL at 213, as you see here. I got filled at exactly at 213. If SOXL stays above 30, so I got $2.34 by the end of next week. Tesla is also ripping too, guys.
Yeah, Tesla's came bouncing back there on reversed. Everything's kind of reversed. AMD's had a nice bounce.
It's asking, what did we see? So this is purely a trade based on a daily level. So if I go look at my chart on a screen, so do you see this bounce and gap fill around here? Let me bring the big pen. This is just purely a trade based on bounce on a daily level. Look at that. So this area obviously is a very important level. So both on a gap and on a bounce from May 31st. So we took that based on that. Was it 100% sure that it's going to happen? No, we didn't know that. But you identify a trade opportunity and then trade based on that and manage your risk. Like I was ready to get it stopped out, and in terms of risk to reward so far, like if I was risking it somewhere around here, and then I already got 2 or 3 R from it. So this is my risk, and this is my reward so far. If I can get a little bit higher, that would be 3 or potentially 4 risk to reward trade. So you kind of trade based on that. You should be able to see my screen. Yeah, maybe Brian, you can stop your screen. I don't know. Sometimes it's
well, it's either that you can just flip if you go to the top left-hand corner, you
All
can
right.
see where it says,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, I'm getting out more on Nvidia, guys, on 109.20. I think there's a really good chance that we go back to VWAP because this is really nicely squeezing. So Excel is also trading at 39. That's nice.
yeah, I'm just selling some Nvidia here. We're getting close to the 20 EMA.
Would have been a much better entry. Would have been if I was waiting for a new 5-minute high. That would have been a much, much better entry.
Diddly doodly. Here we go.
Let me add some on Nvidia here. I'm adding up some Nvidia here. Let's see if I can go to 110. New average is at 107.90, 108 almost.
IWM's rocking it.
Yeah.
Hannah, are you in on that trade? Are you in IWM?
Did anyone in the chat? How's the YouTube guys doing?
Nice.
Tesla squeezed up nicely too, yeah. Let's see if Nvidia, I'm adding a little bit more on Nvidia. Let's see if we can get a pop to 110. This is 5 minutes super bullish now. I don't see it dropping that much. See if we can get to 110. The VWAP is at 110. Yeah, we might. Looks like it's really squeezing up.
I grabbed some TNA again.
Nice. I'm done with that TNA. Like I made a lot of money on that TNA after inflation number. It seems that SOX could be good for volatility.
I still think that we all did, Jared.
Nice guys. Hey guys, if there is any question about the $50,000 funded account, you can ask here because I got a lot of emails asking the question. I'm answering them. If you lose on that account, you don't have to give the loss back to me. Like a lot of say, what if I lose $12,000? Then you don't have to. That's the whole point of these funded accounts. And then there is no profit target. Whatever that you have profit at the end of the 3 months, you can have it. Like if it's $200 or $12,000 or whatever. Yes, ID. TNA lady trader. TNA is a ticker. Yes, ID, you can, but it's very unlikely that in 3 months you can do that. So let's see if you can get that.
Yeah, nice grab on that on TNA on that reversal, Nvidia on that reversal, beauty. AMD was
yes, Ryan.
AMD was a nice bounce off S6 there. Everything bounced. Well, Vktx is going to 66 now.
Nice, guys. I'm partialing out some here at 109, 110. Big ask at 110. I got this
I'm just
really
kidding.
nice.
Yeah.
You did mention, Brian, that I think you did mention that there is orders are going all the way to VWAP.
Yeah, there's an order we're eating into it right now.
Boy, what a day on Nvidia, man. Beautiful move.
There isn't anything. There's nothing really above it. There's no big orders above it. Just there's a lot of orders to the downside, so we'll see what's here.
This is selling some more.
Beauty, eh? There we go.
Beauty. Man, I'm 60 grand up on it yet so far.
We were just talking about Bali. It was 106 was a daily level. If you go back to May. Yeah. that's Persian dancing?
That's Persian
the
dancing.
Persian
A great trade. I'm happy from a great trade. Like look at from that daily level, we got it down to the penny and added more a couple of times on it. Like this is professional trading. And also my SXL puts also green now. That's also pretty awesome.
Ooh, 66 on VKTX. Damn. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, I guess.
Come on. If it gets to 111, I might actually do belly dancing for you. Great. What a great volatility in this market, man.
Excellent.
Yeah,
IWMs just keeps going up here. What a nice bottom
yesterday
on.
The war was ending. Now, look at this. IWM is up 1.3%. Did anyone sold SOXL puts? Ryan, did you sell it? You always copy me.
No, I didn't like there's just the spread on them wasn't great. It makes it hard to get into them, and it makes it hard if you need to get out of them. So I just wasn't crazy about that trade, but it worked out for you for sure.
Guys, in YouTube, you can't see my screen. In the chat room, you could actually see my screen as well, like entries and exit exactly. Let's see what Nvidia is going to do. My average on Nvidia is 107.94, so I have a really good area. Right, so SPY came above the VWAP. If Nvidia comes below the VWAP, I might actually add more on it. Not now. If it comes back around.
Wow.
Looks like
TNA. I did get some TNA, and
yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah, it's great. It's up a lot now.
Yeah, it's IWM. Just doesn't want to go down.
No.
Amazing, guys. Amazing trading. I'm pretty happy with today. I think it could be $100,000 day for me. Congratulations to Canada Revenue Agency. Taking half of it. I didn't want to mention that, but you did that. Gary, you mentioned that. Yeah. SPY isn't getting anything. I have the best lawyer in Canada. Our case is strong. We're going to go fight it down to the last penny. She thinks she can get that. She cannot. No ID. The funded account is with Das Trader Pro. It's not connected to any broker. And for Das Trader, you need Windows. The Mac is a little bit tricky to run Mac, with parallel, DAS on it. You have to run a Windows on Mac. So I recommended, someone emailed me this morning and said, hey, what should I do? I said, I recommended I just go buy a cheap laptop and connect a couple of screens to that. It's better to just have a Windows machine only for DAS. I know it's an extra cost, but, in the long term, it isn't really impacting you that much. I would highly recommend that you just buy a laptop, like $1,000 laptop. You don't need a super gaming laptop or anything. Parallel works great, Chris. Yeah, I know some people do that. It's a little bit tricky. So you have to be a little bit tech savvy on that. I'm not. I'm super baby boomer when it comes to the technology. Joke with Brian. So, tourist, you can trade options on that account, but not as part of the profit taking. And the reason for that is options are tricky because you can easily double your money on that. And I don't want this funded account to be a way of living based on that. Do you know what I mean? I want it to be part of your training, not as part of, a source of income for your life. And I like people to take it only once to just go through the challenges of learning trade management and trade execution with the stress of real money. I hope that it's clear because it was a very successful experience at PCT, and then we just want to expand it to BBT elite members as well. And that's why the options, I know you would be surprised, you would be very happy to trade options on it. But again, the purpose is to learn the basics of trading under real simulated conditions. Tesla broke out. Look at Tesla, Brian.
I know, I can see that.
So Excel is at 40. Andrew is up already $2,000 on those puts. By the end of next week, I would be over 20 grand.
Yeah, it would have been really hard to hold Tesla. I mean, it double topped, or I guess Peter's Mountain Pass, and it really sold off. So, I mean, it almost came down to the VWAP. But anyway, it looks like we're going to wrap things up here on YouTube. I hope everybody had a good morning. This volatility gives lots of great opportunities for trading. So hope everyone had a good day.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Give us a like, thumbs up. And we're out until tomorrow. Cheers.
All right, so Brian, come back directly to the chat room, I guess, huh?
Yep.